So I've just said, sorry, Mick was doing the 5/4 and all that. Anyway, that's what made us laugh.
Sauce.
Small things, small minds and all that.
Sauce AI.
This is the Hinge C, Trend Hinge C that Trend have sent me, and thank you to Sam, who I've been dealing with. Sent me this to try. I've already got the Hinge gay, and if you haven't already seen the video I've done on the comparison of the two, then it's on the screen now. And all it goes through is the ways in which this is better, in my opinion. Little things like setting your hinge out. You've got a shoulder as opposed to a little horrible packer. So what you do is, if I get my hinge, instead of having a packer, you just put your hinge against these two shoulders there like that and tighten these up. Whereas the Hinge A, you have a little packer, you have to push it in and packer and hold it, and it's rubbish. And you've got an Allen key on the sides, as opposed to this, you've got the knurled dials, which is great. Also, which I think's good, these are posi screw, which you've generally got in your pocket. I mean, I've got one of these in my pocket, generally in my pouch. Whereas on the Hinge A, that's an Allen key, so then you've got to carry an Allen key as well. This one also comes with 3 braddles, not 2, which I think's good. It's a lot more lightweight. It says that it will flex if you've got frames or doors that are a bit bowed. This will flex to suit, so you can still use it and clamp it. Whereas a Hinge A is solid and it won't move. So there we are. These are the things that I like so far. I'm going to use it to get these 2 hinges chopped into this door, and then put it in the frame. That's as much as I'm going to say about this. But thank you ever so much to Sam and for Trend to working with us. One more thing. Trend also sent us a couple of these to try, which are the Air Stealth Light Pro masks. And these are designed for people like me that wear safety glasses, or normal glasses that are safety glasses, because that's what these are. And it states that when you've got it on, unlike other masks, it won't mist up your glasses when you're wearing it. I'm going to put it on and I'll try it and I'll tell you how I get on. But again, thank you to Trend. Let's get on with fitting this, and we'll go back to and show you once the hinges are swinging. Okay, use the same jig now to transfer the hinges onto the door frame, but this little thing on the top here, you have to undo it. Now when it's on top of the door, it's like that because it clips onto the top of the door. So when you want to put it onto your frame, you sit that flat like that, make sure it's flush, tighten it off like that. And then with the same, sitting these against what would be a hinge side again, you put that like that against your frame. Make sure it's up tight to there, and that gives you your 2mm space around your door. Put your braddles back in and run your route around here again, and that chops your hinges out. And that's it. Door swinging then. Let's come back a bit. So while Michael starts dropping all the sand out here, we've got another few bags to get in. Then we'll spread this out, ready for our sand blinding over the hardcore for the concreting. Get the DPM, put it on there, and then off we go, mixing by hand, a good 3 or 4 hours of graft in the sunshine. This mask is brilliant. It didn't mist up at all at any point. If anything, it just took a bit more adjusting for me because I've got a prominent nose on my face, and of course you have to adjust this, and I've got to put glasses on as well. So yeah, you have to adjust it a little bit, but it works perfect. Backest Airport, not quite so sunny as it was the day before, and the concreting was completed. Now, we didn't film it because it was horrible. Hand mixing that much concrete, 100 mil of concrete, it ain't fun. A couple of tons of hardcore, ooh, it's horrible. So that's all finished now. We've got the insulation, as you can see there, 100 mil PIR to go on the floor, as per specification from the building control. And then on top of that, we will put another vapour layer and then screed on top of that. Now, something you might not have heard before is the inspectors now seem to be going towards insulation on top of concrete and screed on top of that with another vapour layer, because it's something to do with it not trapping so much moisture. I'll leave that with you to talk about in the comments if you want, but that's what he said. A bit like we do, exactly the same as Method was do if we're having underfloor heating. We put insulation on top of concrete to allow him to clip his pipes to it and then screed, liquid screed. If that's the way they want to do it, that's fine. Just got to make sure it's nice and flat, which we do because we have the old concrete Doppler to make it nice and flat. Let's have a look where we are, and we'll move on to, now we've come back from a big materials run, plasterboard and boards, and let's have a look what we're doing now. So what we're going to do now is going to put this on the floor, nice and tape all the joints, silver tape, which is another specification, it's all going to be taped, and make sure we're tight to the perimeter because we've got a good finish on the concrete down there. Nice good finish there. A little bit of pebbles we're just going to get up, so we can crack on with that. So we'll get that done. Pop masters on shortly, so we may stop and listen to that as we do, and then we'll crack on, and then we can start dabbing these walls. So moving on, inside of the floor now, all the joints are taped, even though for some reason this tape is coming up. There we are. It's only just to protect it from screed, but when we come to see it, we'll get all the dust off and we'll retape that before we screed anyway. All we've done then is we've been asked by the plumber, who is not working with us, he's the customer's plumber, just to try and put the pipes in. So we've just put these through here at an angle to run them down to skirting board over the other side, and then clip this in here. Now, I'm happy to accept the comments if I'm really honest, because how else you're supposed to do it, and we can't have them across the floor in the screed. So yeah, we've had to try and bend it there, put this centre of rad like that, and then bend it around, because you can't bend it that way because it sticks out too far in the corner. So up and then back down again. But I mean, what are you supposed to do? Someone tell me. Other than running, stuff in the floor and passing them, we ain't doing that. No. So that's where we are. So what we're going to do now is Mick is just cleaning his mixer from last time we used it.
I'm not taking blame for this, even though it was me.
Yeah, and we'll start mixing some board adhesive, get some boards on. We'll stick them on a 100mm block, because that'll take us a good 30mm or so above screed level then if I stick it at 100mm block. And then we can get that one set. We can leave that 1200 by about 350 sticking out of there to allow him to do his joints, and then his plasterer then when he comes can board that, because we already boarded it. We weren't boarding it before if you remember, but now we've boarded that. We've boarded all that in there, and now we're dabbing this as well. So we'll get this dabbed, we'll get all this dabbed, and then we'll hand it back over again to customer for plastering. We didn't think he'd want to see us boarding, because you've seen it plenty of times on the channel. Got that one in, got all the bottom row dabbed on yesterday. That reveal can be cut out now for the window. And today's job, hence everything in here, is that's coming out. That concrete lintel's coming out, and we got a new box lintel to go in. So if you remember, this part is supported by a big double, I think 10x2, 9x2 I think there, goes across there. We are cutting down roughly where that plaster line is there, that mark in there, 1.5 bricks, taking that out. Lintel back on the bottom. So we're about there, roughly, where Mick's cut that down with a multi. So we're going to come over to roughly that point with the lintel. In fact, no, we're going to go a little bit further actually with that. So he needs to cut that off a bit more. I won't do that now. And then, yes, we can take this out and we can get this boarded in. We are waiting for doors and windows again. As always with us, don't know what it is. But we got to wait another week. Another week? Yeah, a week and a half. This is all cut out now. And for reasons we're not going to go into, other than we're not going to show you how to do what we've done. For reasons that, you know, if you do it wrong, it's going to come down and we're not going to get any blame for it. That's right, isn't it? And wasn't it nice to see Adam's face doing something?
Hello.
You'll do well. Here he is, look. You missed him, look, here he is. You might, at this point, you may have already seen Adam anyway on the channel. He hasn't seen him for a while.
Nice to see him doing something. He's drinking coffee.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's hot.
So, we've got a box lintel out there now. We're going to remake all the this brickwork around here. Pad stones, and then, I mean, that was just a couple of engineering bricks on top of that clinker block there, but, you know, we put a pad stone in. We've got a box lintel across there. And we can get this will be left in, obviously, because our floor's used to going this way, on top of that. So we'll re-support that with our box lintel, make all this up. That's all done, so we can now plasterboard and dab all this back in now. Steep join it. What else can I say? Nothing. Let's get on with it.
We're rolling, man. We're rolling. Right, I had a bit of a crack on. I haven't shown much of this because it's all fairly Route 1. It's nothing that we haven't shown before, really, and I mean, how interesting can it be, let's face it. But we've got that steel in now. I say steel. This lintel. That's all in. It's just gone tight straight to the timber that was already there. It's touching all the way across. It's lovely and straight, that is. So it's worked out very well. I'll show you outside in a sec, but we cut down the concrete lintel that we took out in order to use it for our pad stones because it is ridiculously dense and heavy. Speaking of which, how you doing, Rich? You all right?
Was it nasty?
Soz. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean that. You're not that heavy. Which is why this one's longer, because we had a bigger space to cut. So what's the point in putting an engineering brick and then doing that? Just have it all solid. So there we go. Anyway, that's all done. And then we just spent the rest of the day just dabbing what we can until the doors and windows arrive, which will be a week on Tuesday. So a little bit of time to wait for that. And there we go. I will show you something. So move away from the noise. Cutting this up in manageable chunks in order to skip it, and then realise just how thick it is and how ideal it is just to keep it as pad stones, and we'll use them as and when the time arises. But it took me ages to cut it down to height. I was thinking, why is that? Why is my blade gone? Look at that. Hit the rebar. I'm cutting down like that, and I've hit the rebar plumb centre. Look at that. Unbelievable, isn't it? But there we have it. Anyway, that's that. Right then, so what more can be said? Not a lot. Right, what have we finished?
Back in Sunnist Airport for the final time. A couple of seconds ago, you would have seen us just finishing off a bit of dabbing. But we came back for another day and finished the dabbing completely. Did all the floor screeding. And then since we've been away, after that couple of jobs we needed to do, it's all been plastered and painted. So I'll flip you around now, show what I'm going to do other than this little bit of filming, and we'll get on with it, and then we'll finish this episode. I'm looking nice in the sunshine, doors and windows and everything. So screening was all done. This has all been finished. Connections have been done down there, ready to connect the central heating. So the plumber's been connected these pipes there. If you remember us saying we were going to leave that bit, so he completed that and then skimmed it. And then we're here today to do the skirting board on the new wall either side, this part here, and around the extension. Come off this one here. That's what we're going to do. I may or may not film anything from this point, because it's only a little bit of skirting, and it's only bullnose stuff, so there's no fine art to it. But see how we get on, And worst case is, the next footage you'll see is it all finished. This job is all done then. Customer's got landscaping to do around there, so this is going to be left. We've got a skip coming at some point and we'll come and collect this and we'll do our last sort of collection of all the bits that we've got, the mixer, etc. And this will go in the skip. This is all finished in here. All the skirting's on. The customer has obviously got his own sparky, his own plumber, so he's doing this. He'll then get the floor screeded because I believe he's having wooden floor, which obviously got to wait for a while till this fully goes off in terms of moisture, that is anyway, because it's solid, but just obviously the moisture content. And the customer's going to obviously have new carpet, so I've just flapped that back over there, put the skirting on. One little bit in here, all the archives obviously around the door there. And then the last little bit is in there. That's it. Well, from us at Stairport, that's the last in this episode now. We hope you've enjoyed this series. We have. We've enjoyed doing it. Thank you to everyone that's commented and interacted with the channel, good and bad. You know, we accept it. We're all putting ourselves out there, so we accept all the comments you give us. So thank you very much for that. Next week, you'll be back with Adam. And then the week after that, if all our plans align, if you like, we'll be starting the footage for our new job, which is the biggest job we've had to date. And we're really enjoying it so far. We're several weeks in now. But we're enjoying it. Smashing everything out and getting ready to put stuff back again. Right then, as always, thank you very much for watching and we'll see you on the next one.